Significant figures are people like Henry and Victoria here, but in the world of maths, they're the digits in a number that mean something. You start counting significant figures from the first digit that isn't 0. Poor zeros. So, for example, 34902 has 5 significant figures. The first is 3, the second is 4, and so on. But 0.014 only has 2 significant figures, 1 and 4. Now this is important because you need to know how to round numbers to fewer significant figures. The basic method is exactly the same as the method for rounding to fewer decimal places, but there's also an extra rule that you sometimes need. So here's the basic method. First, find the position of the last digit. So that's where you want the last significant figure to be. Then look at the next digit along, to the right. This is the decider. If the decider is 5 or more, then round up the last digit. But if it's 4 or less, leave the last digit as it is. And now, here's the extra rule for significant figures. You need to fill in any gaps before the decimal point with zeros. Okay, let's run through a few examples to show you what all this means. Write the number 5.47651 to one significant figure. Okay, so the first significant figure is 5, and we only want one significant figure, so this is also the last digit. So I'll circle that. The decider is 4, and we can ignore everything else to the right. Remember, the decider tells us whether to round up or not. When it's 4 or less, we leave the last digit as it is. So we leave 5 alone, and so 5.47651 is 5 to one significant figure, or SF for short. Here's another one. Give 0.0045902 to 3 significant figures. Right, so this time we've got some zeros at the beginning, which we ignore, and so the first significant figure is 4. So counting on to the right, the second significant figure is 5, and the third is 9, which makes 9 the last digit we want. The decider is 0, and we can ignore the 2. Now, when the decider is 4 or less, we leave the last digit as it is, so 9 stays put. And our answer is 0.00459. Right, last one. Round 30,895 to 2 significant figures. Okay, so the first significant figure is 3, and the second is 0. And so 0 is the last digit. The decider is 8, and that's 5 or more, so we round 0 up to 1. So that's easy enough. And we can also put the 3 in to give us our 2 significant figures. There they are. But that's left us with 3 gaps before the decimal point. So time to apply our extra rule and fill them in with zeros. And that makes our answer 31,000. Okay, so let's quickly run through the rounding method one last time. First, find the position of the last digit. Then, look at the next digit to the right, the decider. If the decider is 5 or more, round up the last digit, but if it's 4 or less, leave the last digit as it is. Then, if you need to, fill in any gaps before the decimal point with zeros. And remember, the first significant figure is the first digit that isn't 0. Right, thanks for staying with me through all that. Go and have a well-deserved cuppa.